This is the I'm Not a Hater podcast featuring Mr. Brown talking about issues that can affect your daily life and giving you jewels and the ways to handle these issues. Listen, getting started right off the back. Okay, so we got a government shutdown, and most people probably don't even understand what that means. That just means both sides can't come to an agreement on spending at this point. Okay, and what it does is when the government shuts down, of course, it affects people um, in all different type of branches of employment. Okay, you got soldiers, TSA, those type of people who are not receiving checks at the moment because of this government shutdown, right? Federal employees, etc. Um, both sides need to kind of get to a agreement because these people are out here suffering, right? And now we talk about normal people who have issues day to day, but could you imagine getting up, right? Because some of them are still getting up and going to work, okay? Getting up, going to work, and not receiving pay for essentially working for free is one of the most disheartening things in the world, especially when you're used to getting paid for it, okay? Um, so I would ask, and I'm just one person, but we're all asking that the government shutdown be ended as soon as possible. But it seems as though it's being played up from Donald Trump and his friends to just become an all-out witch hunt to lay people off and cause people to struggle. And in the way that the world is going and inflation and prices are rising, people being laid off in this present time is not the greatest thing. So we need that Democrats, Republicans, those with sound mind and hearts, and those that want to actually work together to better the lives of the people of the country, the world, etc., etc. Please come together and come up with a solution to end the government shutdown, so that those who are affected by it, you know, it doesn't trickle down and then all of us become affected by it. Okay, I read somewhere that it possibly could happen and it could get very disastrous for everybody involved. So we want you guys to stop it before it gets to that point. It's just my 2 cents, and I'll leave it at that. End the government shutdown as soon as possible. Now, what I really came on here to speak about um, is putting people in a box. Okay. Now, a lot of people do this, and truthfully, hey, it's happened to me in my lifetime. People put me in a box and just kept me there until I showed them that, hey, I'm not that person anymore. Like, I've grown up. I'm completely different. Um, you know, let me out this box. I ripped the box up and never went back. Um, and putting people in boxes, let me just say this, is terrible. Okay, you really shouldn't do it because people reserve the right to outgrow your expectations of them or who you thought they might be, right? So when you put them in a box, it doesn't give them room to grow. You continuously keep them there and keep them as who you thought they were or who you think they are, and you don't allow them to change. And that's just a horrible thing to do because people have the ability to grow, people have the ability to change their ways. They're not always the person that you saw in the past. They're not the bad person, they're not the evil person, the villain, whatever you want to paint them. The villain has a chance to become the hero. But if you continue to keep them in a box and only see them as that bad person, they'll never be able to show you their good qualities. And you may call me whatever you want, naive, whatever. I believe that everybody has some good qualities in them. Um, whether they were given a chance to show them early on, that's remains to be seen. But at this point, give people chances to change. Don't just put them in boxes and leave them there. Um, you know, again, when you put somebody in a box, it does not give them freedom and access to be themselves. They're always seen as who you see them as. Okay, so for example, the family member that comes around and isn't the greatest person, they may steal, they may do whatever, they may have cleaned up their life and you may not have seen them, but you gonna clutch your purse or you gonna put up your good items when you see them because you're so used to them being the thief, you're so used to them being the drug addict, you're so used to them being whatever it is, um, or the person that's always angry, and they've now taken the steps to remain calm or not blow up as much. um, you see them only as that person. You see them only as that miserable, angry person, and you're not giving them a chance to show who they really are. They're really a good person. They have good ideas. They have, you know, a clean heart, a good heart, and you're not giving them the chance to show it because you put them in a box with their old personality, right? Everybody changes, everybody evolves, so you start putting people in boxes, it gets very messy. Okay, and like I said, it even happened to me. um as a result, I felt like for a long time I was in a box and people only saw me as the younger me. They didn't see me as the father, husband, grown up that I'd become. They had me in a box where I was still like 15, 15, 16, and they just kept me there, right? And then it's hard going around those people because I'm not that person anymore. I haven't been that person for years, and you just got me in this box and you just left me there. And it's like, come on, I'm not a teenager anymore by no sense of the imagination. I'm a grown up. I'm taking care of some other human beings in my care. Like, get me out this box. Don't put me in it. Don't leave me in it. Don't try to justify the reason that I'm in it. Let me out and let me do my thing. Like, I'm showing you that I don't belong in this box. I've outgrown your box and moved on to being free from your box, right? Allow people to change is basically what I'm trying to say. Do not put these people in these boxes in your mind and just leave them there. That's not fair to them. They are trying their best to be um, members of society that can function and and move about, and you got them stuck in this box where they can't they can't do anything because you got them tied up into the old them. They're not that person anymore. Let them go, let them be. And that's what I'll say about that. So listen, this wasn't designed to be a super long episode today. Just kind of want to get in, say what I need to say, and get going. But I'll say this to close it off. People are leaving this earth. We must do a better job of telling each other how we feel about them before it is our time or their time to go. Um, Please, when I'm going to use myself as an example, if it comes to me, if you have anything that you want to say, or I basically should say back to you, I'm going to do that from now on. I'm not going to waste time in thinking that we have time to sit around and wait for years and years and years, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel. um and it's good stuff. Like, I'm not here to say anything negative, but I'm just realizing that people are leaving earth. Okay, people gone here today, gone tomorrow, and you never really get a chance to say what you want to say to them. um take my advice, say it, because they need to hear it. You don't want it to just be an empty post on social media. They can't respond. People around you can respond. People can say, things or whatever, but take the time. If you have that person's number, call them up, send them a text, email, whatever the case is, just do it and go from there, man. At least they know, how you feel about them, and they can remember that, and you can, handle things differently. When that time comes, when they're no longer here. And listen, I advise everybody to do that, whether it's children to their parents, or husbands to wives, wives to husbands, uh, you know, all forms of family. Man, just start telling people how you really feel, because you don't want it to be the last moments and you trying to get it out before they go, or they've already gone and you wanted to say it. You don't want that to happen. You really want to be proactive and just start telling people that you love them, you care about them, and you want to see them do great. They're doing great, whatever the case is. Just get it off and say it before it's too late. Now, this is Mr. Brown. This is the I'm Not a Hater podcast. It's the same old song, different day, same stuff happening. Don't let people put you in boxes, and tell people how you really feel. Peace and love. I'll talk to you very, very, very soon.